thank you for bringing all the family members. We have several agencies here represented today. Of course, Evanston Fire and Life Safety Services, Evanston Police Department, Northwestern Police Department, and Superior Ambulance. I would like to welcome all of them here this evening, as well as we have one of our City Council members, Jane Grover, is here, so thank you for being here, Jane. And my name is Chief Kleiber, and I just again want to welcome everyone here. I have some opening remarks that I'll save for just a second. I'd first like to introduce the Honorable Mayor Elizabeth Tisdall.
Thank you, Chief. My job is to welcome all of you, and wow, what a crowd. You are welcome indeed. We are here tonight to honor Evanston's fabulous fire department. The things that you do on an everyday basis as part of your job are outstanding, courageous, and completely, utterly remarkable. And we are here tonight to take a moment to say thank you to you for everything you do. And I wanted to let you know that it's very hard for a mayor to leave one event to go to another event. They never want the mayor to leave. They never can believe that the next event might be equally important. So I was at a business opening earlier this evening, and I said, I'm sorry, but I have to leave because we're going to honor the firemen tonight. Oh, honor the firemen. Leave, Mayor. You know, they thought that was worth it. So I'm going to use that excuse periodically when I really need to. So when you hear you've been honored a few extra times, you'll know it's your mayor desperate to get out of an event. So thank you all for being here, but most particularly I'd like to thank each and every member of the fire department for the courageous and wonderful job that you do. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor Tisdall. Next, I'd like to introduce to you our Fire Department Chaplain, David Jones.
It says on the agenda that it's time for an invocation. And I have to tell you that standing here before all of you, the firefighters and their families and their friends, it feels inappropriate for me to offer an invocation to the people and for the people who are frequently an answer to people's prayers all the time. Because every time someone picks up the telephone and dials that 3-digit number, you come, that was a prayer. This afternoon, a couple of you took me down into the basement of a building on Brummel Street where there was what seemed like a small fire, no big deal to you. But thank God you came. And I can tell you what, to the person who had to call, it was a big deal. Everything you do is an answer to somebody's prayer. And so there is no need for an invocation because you have gathered in this room to be honored and thanked. And I am so proud to be one citizen in Evanston that can stand here on behalf of a whole bunch of other ones and say, thank you.
Thank you, Chaplain Jones. The members of Evanston Fire and Life Safety Services have taken an oath to save lives and protect property of those who live, work, and play in Evanston. Each and every day, these professional firefighters and paramedics do so with passion, dedication, and commitment to those they serve. On a daily basis, I observe how the men and women of our department respond to emergencies and care for our citizens, and I could not be more proud. In 2010, Evanston Fire and Life Safety Services responded to nearly 9,000 calls. Run totals for 2011 so far indicate we may be en route to our busiest year in the history of our department. Each one of these calls represents a situation that required the skills and professionalism of our firefighters and paramedics. Tonight, we're here to honor those skills and commend and recognize the efforts and skills of our members throughout the last 2 years and some citizens as well, and members from other agencies such as Superior Ambulance, other city departmental members, and Northwestern University Police. Unless somebody can correct me, who has more time on the job than me, I believe this is only our third award ceremony in my career. That's almost 27 years. And that's not a record that I'm real proud of. We need to honor and recognize the efforts that we make, and I intend to change that record. So I'm going to get the ball rolling this evening and start with some special recognition awards. I would like our Fleet Services Manager, Lonnie Jeschke, to step forward, please. We're awarding Mr. Jeschke, who is our City Fleet Services Manager, along with Michael Whalen and Ron Gannon, with a special recognition award, and I'll tell you what that is for in just a second. Mike, unfortunately, could not be here, and Ron is out of town. Ron Gannon is a former division chief with our department. Mike is a former deputy chief who now is our management analyst. Michael Whalen, Ron Gannon, and Lonnie Jeschke warrant special recognition for their collaborative efforts in securing a $600,000 FEMA grant that was used towards the purchase of Evanston's first new aerial ladder truck in 20 years. All three individuals spent hundreds of hours to secure the grant, work on the truck's specifications, and finally sign off and take possession of our new truck last spring. Evanston Fire and Life Safety Services would like to thank Michael Whalen, Ron Gannon, and Lonnie Jeschke for their dedication, commitment to Evanston Fire, Life Safety Services, and the residents of Evanston. Thank you, Lonnie. As I said, Mike Whalen couldn't be here, and he might be a little angry with me for saying this, but I just need to mention something. I think Mike is a grant writer extraordinaire. As I said, he is primarily responsible for us securing the grant that got us this aerial ladder truck. And I do have to thank the City Council for appropriating the remaining balance for that truck, so thank you. But not only with the truck, but he also secured a grant for our rescue squad, as well as air bottles for self-contained breathing apparatus. So in total, probably over $1 million, well over $1 million in grants through the efforts of Mike and the work done by folks like Lonnie Jeschke and Ron Gannon and others. So I just wanted to mention that. Thank you. Next, I'd like Captain P.J. Casey and our Levy Center Senior Services Manager, Christina Ferraro, to step forward. Hopefully Christina's here. She said she was running late, but apparently she's not here yet. Yeah, that's good. Captain P.J. Casey and Christina Ferraro are deserving of special recognition for their collaborative efforts in developing and implementing the File of Life program for the residents of Evanston. This critical program allows a resident to communicate vital medical information with our emergency first responders, even if they themselves are unresponsive. Evanston Fire and Life Safety Services would like to thank Captain P.J. Casey and Christina Ferraro for their dedication and commitment to the citizens of Evanston. Next, I'd like to call up Captain Guy Bolio. Is Guy here this evening? I haven't seen him. That's not going to prevent me from presenting this award in absentee, but because I do want to mention what he did for our department. Captain Bolio is deserving of special recognition for his tireless work in developing and implementing our department's new firefighter candidate mentoring program. This critical program will be used as a template and will guide our firefighter candidates on all aspects of operations through their first years on the job. Evanston Fire and Life Safety Services would like to thank Captain Bolio for his dedication and commitment on the mentoring program, which will benefit our new firefighters and our entire department for years to come. So thanks, Guy, and I'll be giving this to you whenever I see you next. So he deserves a round of applause, even if he isn't here. Would Captain Marty Rafus and firefighter paramedic Dan Lynch please step up? Captain Rafus and firefighter Dan Lynch are going to be awarded the Meritorious Award this evening. In the spring and summer of 2010, Captain Marty Rafus and firefighter paramedic Dan Lynch led an effort to restore and revitalize Fireman's Park at the corner of Maple and Simpson in Evanston. Their work resulted in raising over $100,000 in funds and donations of plants and flowers from local vendors. Fireman's Park is now a beautiful space befitting Evanston's fallen firefighters. Evanston Fire and Life Safety Services would like to thank Captain Rafus, firefighter paramedic Dan Lynch for their tireless and selfless work to restore and beautify Fireman's Park for all of Evanston residents to enjoy. Thank you. If you have not had the opportunity to get by Fireman's Park, please take a look. And we should post before and after pictures at the park. The work that they did, as well as our members of Local 742, should be commended, as we did here this evening. It's a wonderful site. The neighbors are very thankful for the efforts of our firefighters and members of Local 742. My final award this evening will be for a citizen. Do we have Mr. Eric English here this evening? Please step forward, Mr. English. Mr. English is going to be awarded the Fire Chief's Special Recognition Citizen Commendation. On October 5th, 2010, Mr. Eric English saw heavy smoke coming from his neighbor's apartment at 2007 Howard Street. Mr. English entered the smoke-filled apartment and found an unconscious victim on the floor. Mr. English dragged the victim to safety, grabbed a hallway fire extinguisher, and quickly extinguished the fire. He then managed to bring the victim down the stairs to responding Evanston fire companies. Evanston Fire and Life Safety Services would like to thank and commend Mr. English for his selfless actions on behalf of his neighbor, which prevented further harm to the victim and damage to the building. Great job. Thank you very much. I'd like to call up Division Chief Tom Janetsky for presentation of more awards. Thank you.
Good evening. Please. Chief, here's Chief. Good evening. This is the Fire Chief's letter of recommendation reward. I'd like to ask these people to come up in front here with the Fire Chief. Sergeant Donald Moore of the Northwestern Police Department. Chris Ireland, Superior Ambulance. Megan Michelson, Superior Ambulance. Brian O'Keefe, Superior Ambulance. Alex Quiliza, Superior Ambulance. Firefighter Paramedic Courtney Edwards. And Megan Kay. Let me have that real quick. As I stated, these members are in recognition of a fire chief's letter of commendation. On October 8th of 2011, prior to the start of a Northwestern football game, a member of the sideline chain crew suffered a heart attack on the sidelines. Members of Northwestern Police Department were first on the scene and found a gentleman approximately 80 years old, pulseless, and in full cardiac arrest. CPR was immediately initiated by members of Northwestern Police Department. Care was transferred then to the Evanston fire paramedics present at the game. Evanston Fire then transferred care to Superior Ambulance crews who administered full advanced life support care, which resulted in the restoration of the pulse prior to their arrival at Evanston Hospital. It was the combined teamwork, professionalism, and skills of Northwestern Police Department, Evanston Fire Department members, and the crews of Superior Ambulance that made the difference and saved this patient's life. For this, we commend all of them.
We would like, come on down, let's get one quick picture. Come on.
Next, we'll present the Fire Chief's letter of commendation to citizens. I'd like to have these individuals come up front, please. Christopher Ernst, David Blatt, Michael Perlman, Marilyn Ruiz, and Kim Sutker. These members that stand in front of you are citizens, but they are also members of our citizen or community emergency response team. The community emergency response team has been around since 2004. It was developed under some federal directives and initiatives through the President's office, and it's under the Homeland Security. So there's grant monies available to support this team and provide equipment and training to this team. We currently have about 80 members on our roster, all residents of the city of Evanston. On July 3rd, 2010, at approximately 10 p.m., incident commanders working a fire located within the Evanston YMCA summons members of the Evanston Community Emergency Response Team, CERT, to assist with the evacuation, transportation, and sheltering of nearly 80 displaced residents. CERT members assisted in the setup, operations of the shelter, provided overnight care into the next day of this holiday weekend. These volunteers of CERT are hereby recognized for their dedication and commitment to the citizens of Evanston. Thank you very much. Okay, I'd like to call these individuals up front, please. Captain Tim Taylor, Firefighter Christopher Foch, Firefighter Dave Smurha, Firefighter Justin Norris, Firefighter Colleen Martin, Captain P.J. Casey, Firefighter Robert Byrne, Firefighter John Schuster, Captain William Muno, and Shift Chief Don Kanita. Previously, we just recognized the CERT members who supported and were called to the scene by these individuals. Now I'd like to recognize the firefighters who were actually on the scene there. On July 3rd, 2010, at approximately 8 p.m., 2 hours prior to the CERT members being summoned, firefighters responded to the Evanston YMCA for reports of a fire, smoke, and several explosions. On arrival, it was determined to be a fire in a ComEd transformer vault within the structure. Firefighters dealing with high voltage, arcing electrical equipment, provided assistance to nearly 80 residents within the structure to assist with the evacuation, obtaining medications, transportation, and maintaining fire in check until the fire could be reached and extinguished by crews upon the arrival of ComEd. For these actions, you are hereby recognized, and the commitment to the City of Evanston is greatly appreciated. Thank you. Could I please have firefighter paramedic Christopher Foch come up front? Let me read it real quick. Chris is being recognized with the Chief's Letter of Commendation. On July 3rd, 2011, at approximately 1:30 in the afternoon, firefighter Foch, while off duty, was in the vicinity of a motor vehicle crash. One vehicle had rolled over on its roof after colliding with the second vehicle. Firefighter Foch crawled into the overturned SUV and assisted the driver from the vehicle, avoiding additional hazards. He then cared for the patient by supporting and immobilizing the victim's spinal cord until fire and EMS arrived on the scene. The patient was transported to St. Francis Hospital. You are hereby recognized for your actions and commitment to the citizens of Evanston. Thank you. Okay, could I have these members come up front, please? Firefighters Kevin Rodriguez, firefighter Tim Gobat, firefighter Gary Hicks, firefighter Christopher Foch, firefighter John Roach, firefighter Justin Norris, and Captain Matthew Grizzly. These members are receiving the Evanston Fire Chief's letter of commendation. As I explain this, I want you to picture the scenario of the situation they were involved in and put yourself in their shoes, and I think you'll see why it warrants the recognition that we're giving them this evening for this. On Sunday, February 13th of 2011, at approximately 7 p.m., companies responded to the Central Street Metro Station for an adult male struck by a train. The victim was found unresponsive under the train. Your immediate care to this patient with response to his multiple fractures, labored breathing, and airway management concerns, multiple lacerations, contusions, in a very urgent situation provided top quality care and professionalism that allowed this patient to arrive at the hands of surgeons within 15 minutes of your initial patient contact. You're to be commended for that. You're hereby recognized for your actions and commitment to the community and the city of Evanston. Thank you very much. To continue with our presentation this evening, I'd like to call up Division Chief Jeff Block. Yeah. I'll take those.
Can I call up Captain Bolio, firefighter Dominic Rodriguez, and firefighter Johan Haglund? Approximately April 25th, 2011 at 9:22 a.m., multiple calls to the 911 center reported for a residential fire at 2145 Brummel Street. Engine Company 24 with Captain Bolio, firefighter Haglund, and firefighter Dominic Rodriguez responded immediately, and on arrival within minutes found smoke billowing from the west doorway. Determining that the occupant had exited and was out of harm's way, Captain Bolio with candidate Rodriguez and driver-operator Haglund applied professional tactics, strong knowledge of structural firefighting, forcing entry and extinguishing the bedroom fire. You and your crew's actions limited the damage and saved the property from total loss. You are hereby recognized for your actions and commitment to the city of Evanston. Could Captain Rafe has come forward, Captain Mike McDermott, firefighter Foch, firefighter Mygon, firefighter Byrne, firefighter Jean-Pierre, and firefighter Bailey. On July 22, 2011, engines 22, 24, and truck 22 responded to a multi-unit apartment building fire at 333 Barton that was struck by lightning in the middle of a summer storm, resulting in damage to the chimney and a fire in the attic space of the building. The excellent response times, under 3 minutes, and decisive initial tactics utilized on the fire ground resulted in containing and localizing the damage and prevented what could have been a total loss of the building. Evanston Fire and Life Safety Services would like to commend the actions of all personnel assigned to these engine companies and truck company at this fire. Is firefighter Jeffrey Gonzalez here? Firefighter Gonzalez, while off duty at a public swimming pool with his family, responded to a young female drowning victim. Firefighter paramedic Gonzalez took immediate action, controlled the scene, and initiated CPR. Firefighter paramedic Gonzalez's quick and decisive response resulted in saving the life of this young girl on the afternoon of June 16, 2010. Evanston Fire and Life Safety Services would like to commend the actions of Gonzalez on that day. Nice job.
Firefighter Gonzalez' wife had a baby yesterday. That's a better award, I think.
There you go. Captain Brumbach, please come forward. Firefighter Doherty and Firefighter Yopel. On June 6, 2010, Captain Brumbach, along with firefighters Doherty and Yopel, responded to a routine call for downed power lines in the alley behind 817 Chicago Avenue. Arriving on the scene, Captain Brumbach and his crew discovered they were no ordinary power lines, they were high voltage lines down. The lines had fallen and energized the entire steel rear staircase of 817 Chicago Avenue, making it dangerous for people to even evacuate the building. Captain Brumbach immediately upgraded the alarm for assistance and then secured the safety of the building occupants and protected the building from anyone entering until ComEd could arrive on the scene. I'd like to call the following people up. Captain Steve Perino, Captain Paul Polyp, Captain Mike Adam, Firefighter Wilson, Firefighter Kevin Roach, Firefighter O'Gara, Firefighter Gatewood, Firefighter Yee, Firefighter Weidman, and Firefighter Morrison. On October 29, 2010, multiple fire companies responded to a fire which had started in the basement at a home at 1632 Sheridan Road. The excellent response times and the quick actions of the initial responding fire units aided in locating and containing the fire to its place of origin. The results saved this beautiful home from extensive damage and no displacements of its homeowners. Evanston Fire and Life Safety Services commend the actions and tactics used by the initial responding companies at this fire. And I will add one thing. I was at this fire that day, and I will say these guys all did their job, but they did it very well that morning. So. Is Firefighter Barlock here? And also, if Cleo Connor is in the room, if he can come forward also. Firefighter Barlock, you are being awarded the Award of Valor tonight by the Evanston Fire and Life Safety Services Department. In the early morning hours of Christmas Day, 2010, Evanston Fire was called to the scene for a fire involving multiple structures at 1809 Laurel Avenue. During the course of this fire, a mayday was called for a downed firefighter. Firefighter paramedic Stephen Barlock took quick and decisive action to locate the downed firefighter and carried the firefighter down a flight of stairs to a waiting ambulance. Evanston Fire and Life Safety Services would like to commend you for your actions during the mayday on Christmas 2010. All right, to continue with the awards, I'm going to have Division Chief Hall come up.
Thank you. Thank you, Division Chief Block. Hayes. The first award I'm going to be passing out tonight is to firefighter paramedic Jason Hayes. And this is a special recognition award. Firefighter paramedic Jason Hayes. On August the 12th, 2011, firefighter paramedic Jason Hayes, while off duty at a medical facility in the city of Skokie, came to the assistance of a severely disabled, wheelchair-bound 93-year-old man who had a doctor's appointment at that medical facility. Jason Hayes helped transfer the man from the car to his wheelchair, from the wheelchair to the doctor's examining chair, back to the wheelchair, and finally back into the car. The family wrote, and this is a quote, "Jason was extraordinarily respectful, totally competent, and professional throughout, making a potentially embarrassing and humiliating situation feel like an everyday occurrence." They did send us that letter for you, Jason. Very good. Jason Hayes is the epitome of what Evanston Fire and Life Safety Services personnel stands for. Jason, for this, we want to award you the Special Recognition Award. Just Rafus. Second special recognition award is for Captain Martin Rafus. On May the 28th, 2011, Engine 21 was dispatched to the intersection of Church Street and Dodge Avenue on a call for a suicidal patient. Upon arrival, Evanston police and fire personnel found a combative and uncooperative patient who was out of control. Captain Martin Rafus immediately took control of the situation by gaining the patient's trust through his expression of genuine concern and sincerity. It was with his professional demeanor, skills, and compassion that Captain Martin Rafus was able to bring to a conclusion a situation that could have been volatile. The patient was transported to the hospital for care without incident. Captain Rafus was commended for his actions on this call by Sergeant Diane Davis of the Evanston Police Department. I'd like to add further that a letter was sent to Chief Kleiber commending Captain Rafus's action on this day, and this is a perfect example of Evanston Police and Evanston Fire working together to mitigate a problem. Captain Rafus, thank you. This is 2650 Ridge. The next special recognition award goes to Battalion Chief David Aragon, Ambulance Company 21, Courtney Edwards and Alex Palomares, Engine Company 23, Captain Peter A. Casey, Captain Kimberly Cool, Firefighter Paramedic Justin Morrison, Truck 23, Captain Michael Goldman, and Firefighter Paramedic Michael Hasanoff. On August the 9th, 2010, Battalion 21, Ambulance 21, Engine 23, and Truck 23 were dispatched to Evanston Hospital garage for a motor vehicle accident with entrapment. Upon arrival, they found that not only was the patient entrapped in the SUV was also wedged against a metal post and a brick veneered steel column. Ambulance 21 treated and stabilized the patient inside the vehicle, while Truck 23 and Ambulance 23 worked together to stabilize the vehicle and extricate the patient by cutting away the driver's door and the seat posts. This was all accomplished in a timely manner. The patient was transferred to the emergency department by Ambulance 21 crew, while the truck and engine companies continued to assist North Shore Towing Company with the further extrication of the SUV from the metal post and the steel column. The decisive actions, professionalism, and skills that these individuals displayed brought this incident to a closure in a safe and diligent manner. For this, we commend you with the Special Recognition Award. The next award is the Fire Chief Letter of Commendation, and this goes to Ambulance 22 and Engine Company 22. Firefighter Paramedic Thomas Upel Jr., Firefighter Paramedic Damian Bazan, Captain Ronald Brombach, FAO Robert Byrne, Firefighter Paramedic Daniel Bailey. On May the 15th, 2011, Ambulance 22 and Engine 22 were dispatched to Elmwood Avenue and South Boulevard to what was originally thought to be a motor vehicle accident. Upon arrival and patient assessment, it was determined that the patient had sustained a gunshot wound to the head. Sadly, this patient did not survive and was pronounced brain dead the following day. The St. Francis Trauma Department recognizes these companies for their efficient pre-hospital communication, treatment for this patient, including the stabilization and transportation. These men have displayed the professionalism and dedication indicative of Evanston Fire and Life Safety Services personnel. For this, you get the Fire Chief Letter of Commendation. I'd also like to add that the trauma coordinator from St. Francis Hospital sent the chief a letter commending you guys. I'll read just one paragraph here. I would like to commend your paramedics for their efficient trauma care, including stabilization, transportation, and treatment of this patient. I would also like to thank them for the pre-hospital communication. Our trauma team was at the bedside upon arrival of the patient. The next award is the Fire Chief Letter of Commendation, Ambulance Company 21, Engine Company 25. Captain Matthew Grizzly, Firefighter Paramedic Michael Perino, Captain Ronald Shoga, FAO Patrick Novak, Firefighter EMT Michael Sostak. On February 1st, 2011, Ambulance 21 and Engine 25 were dispatched to 2520 Grosse Pointe Road for a patient with breathing problems. Upon arrival, they found a male patient not breathing and unresponsive. Ventilations were quickly assisted with an oral airway and other ALS care. Other ALS care here is starting an IV, putting the patient on some oxygen, a monitor, a heart monitor, and also starting, if IV is not possible, an IO, and any medications that is needed. While the patient was transported to the nearest hospital, it was the quick and decisive actions by these men that brought about a favorable outcome for this patient and displayed the professionalism and dedication indicative of Evanston Fire and Life Safety Services personnel. For this, we commend you with a Fire Chief Letter of Commendation. Our next Fire Chief Letter of Commendation Award goes to Ambulance 21 and Engine Company 21. Firefighter Paramedic Brandon Gatewood, Firefighter Paramedic Alex Palomares, Captain Michael McDermott, Firefighter Paramedic Kevin Roach, Firefighter Paramedic Karis Wilson. On September the 12th, 2011, Ambulance 21 and Engine 21 were dispatched to the intersection of Dodge Avenue and Crane Street for the bike versus bus accident. Upon their arrival, they found that a gentleman on his bicycle had collided with the side of the bus. Sadly, due to the severity of his head injuries, he expired the following day. The St. Francis Trauma Department recognizes these companies for the efficient pre-hospital communication treatment of this patient, including the stabilization and transportation. These men have displayed the professionalism and dedication indicative of Evanston Fire and Life Safety Services personnel. The chief also received a letter again from the St. Francis Trauma Department Trauma Coordinator, and in that the paragraph states, I would like to commend your paramedics for the efficient trauma care, including stabilization, transportation, and treatment of this patient. I would also like to thank them for the pre-hospital communication. Our trauma team was at the bedside upon arrival of the patient. For this, we commend you with the Fire Chief Letter of Commendation. Styles, Chief. That's 714 Brummel. Okay. The next award is going to be the Craig Styles Award. Ambulance Company 22, Engine Company 22. Firefighter Paramedic Joseph Ciriali, Firefighter Paramedic Damian Bazan, FAO Thomas Howard, Firefighter Paramedic Dominic Rodriguez. On September the 28th, 2011, Ambulance 22 and Engine 22 were dispatched to 714 Brummel Street for an elderly male who had had an apparent heart attack. Upon arrival, they found a gentleman approximately 64 years of age in a prone position, slumped against the wall of a second-floor bathroom. He was pulseless and apneic. This was an unwitnessed arrest with no bystander CPR. Under the leadership of FAO Tom Howard, lead paramedic Joe Ciriali, firefighter paramedic Damian Bazan, and firefighter paramedic Dominic Rodriguez, this patient was administered full ALS care. Again, as I explained, ALS care is starting an IV, monitor, intubation, and giving the patient whatever drugs is needed, depending on the rhythm that they're seeing on the cardiac monitor, and whether the patient needs to be defibrillated. With this full ALS care resulted in the restoration of a pulse and a blood pressure prior to their arrival at St. Francis Hospital. It was the professionalism, skills, and dedication of these men that made a difference and saved this patient's life. For this, we commend you with the Craig Styles Award.
just want to mention that this is our department's second highest honor. Quite a recognition, so thank you.
Craig Stiles again, Chief. Craig Stiles Award. Recipients, Ambulance 22, Firefighter Paramedic Thomas Upel Jr., Firefighter Paramedic Stephen Barlock. Before I continue, Firefighter Paramedic Barlock, would you like to come and read this one? That's a private joke. Firefighter Barlock likes to mimic my accent. I thought I'd break the ice with that one. On August the 30th, 2011, Ambulance 22 was dispatched to 1681 Sherman Avenue for an unconscious male at the LA Fitness Health Club. Upon their arrival, Firefighter Paramedic Thomas Upel, Firefighter Paramedic Stephen Barlock found an unconscious patient being administered CPR by a bystander. I'd like to say bystander CPR, as we all know, is one of the goals that this department is shooting for. Several years ago, Chief Kleiber looked at the numbers, and he decided that that is what was missing. And that is one of the reasons why he instituted our CPR program for the department to the community, which we started in June of this year. It's been pretty successful so far, and we hope to keep it going. But it's vital that CPR is started on any patient who is having a cardiac arrest in that 3 minutes it takes us to get there. That's 3 minutes of blood circulation to the brain and to the vital organs to help sustain that person and keep them alive. I'd like to say the individual who was doing the CPR was a med student. We tried to get in touch with him, but he had already left. He was only here for a short period he was visiting. They quickly defibrillated the patient, who was in a life-threatening arrhythmia, which resulted in the restoration of a pulse, blood pressure, and respirations. The quick and aggressive ALS care by these paramedics made the difference and saved this patient's life. I also like to add, the gentleman had bypass. He was a visitor from Germany, and he went back home, thanks to the actions of these gentlemen. Next award is the Craig Stiles Award. This is to Ambulance Company 22, Engine Company 24. Firefighter Paramedic Gary Hicks, Firefighter Paramedic Joseph Ciriali, Captain Guy Bolio, Firefighter Paramedic Johan Haglin, Firefighter Paramedic Christopher Weglars. On November the 9th, 2011, Ambulance 22 and Engine 24 were dispatched to 766 Dodge Avenue for the patient in cardiac arrest. Upon arrival, they found a female patient in an asystole rhythm. An asystole rhythm is one, if you look on your monitor, it's a straight line. And I know from time to time you're watching a movie and you see the patient in the hospital, they're on the monitor and then they just go into a straight line. Well, that's what an asystole rhythm is. It's a straight line on the monitor, and very, very rare does anyone get back from that. Okay? That means you're dead. There is no heart activity, there is nothing going on. With aggressive ALS care of intubation, IV, 2 rounds of medication, and CPR, a pulse was restored to the patient prior to their arrival at the hospital. It was the professionalism, skill, and dedication of these men that made the difference and saved this patient's life. For this, we commend you with the Craig Stiles Award. That concludes my awards. I'll turn the floor over to Chief Kleiber.
Thank you, Chief Hull. It's been a somewhat of a long evening. You might gather that we're not exactly a well-oiled machine when it comes to giving out awards. We promise that that will improve. We spent some time putting this event together, and we sat down and decided who was to get what award, and trying to write up each scenario so it sounded to all of you here today exactly what happened. And as you sit down and try to do that, you don't really take in all of the actions for which our members received awards today and others in the audience. So as I stood there for quite some time and listened, I once again just have to say I'm extraordinarily proud to lead this department. We have some extraordinary men and women who on a daily basis perform acts that mitigate both emergencies and fire and EMS and everything else that you can imagine. And for that, I want to thank every single member of this department. I want to thank my division chiefs, Tom Janetsky, Jeff Block, and Dwight Hull for their extraordinary leadership. We invite you to stick around to have some coffee. And I'm being interrupted by the mayor. Hold on.
There's one more commendation that needs to be given tonight, and that is to Chief Kleiber for doing one heck of a great job.
I'm blushing. Thank you, Mayor Tisdall. Thank you, everyone. Let's have some juice. Let's go find some cool air, and thanks for coming.